All right, good evening, adventurers. Wednesday night here at twitch.tv/the Master of Dungeons channel. Tavern Talks of the Shifty Boars, our talk show. We're still in the process of getting a permanent co-host to host with me. Until we get that figured out, we'll still be going over some of the new playtest material from the Unearthed Arcana series for the new One D&D. It's supposed to be coming out next year for the 50th anniversary of Dungeons and Dragons. There is another one, the Player's Handbook. This is the one we're doing now, the Druids Paladins. It's again all playtest material. Using this playtest, you could still use the 2014 Player's Handbook, the regular 5th edition Player's Handbook, except for the rules changes in here to try those out. The Player's Handbook one we'll do start next week. We'll probably have to do that over a course of a couple of weeks because it's, from what I understand, I haven't read this one yet or the Player's Handbook. The other ones we went through over the past few weeks were the first times that I've seen them as well. I've had them for a while, just haven't had a really chance to sit down to examine what the rules changes are and such like that. So, as we'll just dive right into it. So, as just mentioned, it is part of the Unearthed Arcana series, which they've started using for throwing out new stuff for playtests, even for 5th edition. This is going to be for One D&D. It's going to be talking about the Druid and Circle of the Moon, which is a subclass that most players use for the Druids, and then the Paladin of Devotion. Some new feats, some revised feats here to check out. Some spells ready for playtesting. Find Familiar and Find Steed. And of course, the rules glossary that'll have the new rules that are going to be updated. And every time they release a new playtest material, they update the glossary that the previous glossaries with other changes and such that come out. And you probably can hear my familiar, my cat Callie behind me. She's meowing and chirping. She just got fed and she just got some snacks, so she's going to probably chirp a little bit until she jumps up into her bed right behind over here. Okay, so playtest material here. Power level, same as always. They might adjust all of that. The feedback. Talks about the primary ability, the class groups, of course, the new experts, mages, priests, and warriors. The artificer is going to be the expert as well. So obviously we're going to be dealing with, talked about the clerics and species last week. We're talking about the Druid and Paladins this week. All right, so the Druid talks about what Druids are. Again, all prepared spells now for all the classes, at least in the playtest material anyway. Aerial form, they've changed the aquatic form. Okay. So instead of, you can't have a swim speed, you can't have a fly speed, they changed them around to, well, that I can see is a really good change. Your subclass features, again, they've moved the old 20th level capstone down to 18th level for all the classes to allow for epic boons, basically an epic feat. Still the same stuff. Intelligence and wisdom saves. Starting equipment. Multi-class, of course, the same. Armor training. Pair spells for classes individually. Yep. Okay. Wild shape. Channel nature. Magic nature infuses you. Tapping into that power, you create various magical effects. Start with 1. Wild shape. Use channel action twice. You regain one expended use when you finish a short rest, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. You get additional uses when you reach certain druid levels. It's a magic action. Again, they're going to be doing magic action instead of casting a spell, I believe. Start doing one animal form. Animal of the land, which is detailed in the wild shapes section. So you can stay in that form for a number of hours equal to half your druid level, or until you use wild shape again. Have incapacitated condition or die. You should probably clarify that to say for a number of obviously go to half your druid level, minimum 1 hour, because their rule is rounding down is the standard rule for D&D, unless it's specifically an ability says to level to round up. I believe there's a wizard ability, maybe a couple of other ones that round up, specifically that breaks their round down rule. Clerics for the channel divinity offer a number of uses equal to the character's proficiency bonus. That number is generous from a multi-class character. You could only take one level of cleric and then get ever increasing uses if the character gains levels of another class. The Druid Paladin are therefore given a channel divinity, a channel nature, and a number of uses tied to that class rather than proficiency bonus. At least the next version of the cleric sees so much. Okay. Druidic language. Spellcasting, Druidcraft. Again, they don't have cantrips anymore. They're called 0-level spells. All right, spell slots. Now, I did notice that they did not say anything about with their armor training and their armor or anything like that. Did not see anything about metal anymore. It's later on. They did drop it down to just light armor now for druids. Druidic focus is normal. Spellcast ability use wisdom. Yep. All right, so second level, you're doing 2 more ways to use your channel nature: healing blossoms and wild companion. That's magic action. Spectral flowers appear for a moment at 10-foot radius sphere center on a lock point. Well, number of d4s equal to your wisdom modifier, and add the dice together. The total is the number of hit points you can distribute to creatures in that sphere. And cast Find Familiar spell without material components. And it is a fey, and disappears when you finish a long rest. Of course, if you just use that one summon the Find Familiar, then you take a short rest, you get one of the uses back from your channel nature. Of course, you select your subclass at 3rd level. This is going to be described afterwards. Check that out here shortly. Get a feat. Light of the land, your connection with the land deepens, empowering the animal of the land form of your wild shape. Unlock the form's climb speed and multi-attack. So they're really just called animal of the land. It's not a specific animal. I guess you could always flavor it however you'd like to flavor it. Sorry, scrolling back up to the wild shape. Okay. Subclass feature is normal. No conspiracies. Just going over the new stuff here for the One D&D playtest. Have not had a chance to check them out yet myself. And we'll see. So you'll be able to at 7th level get your swim, basically your swim speed. Nice. Session prep for the weekend's always good. That's I think I have all my rooms ready to go. The only thing I need to take care of is actually reading the adventures. I've ran them before, but it was like, when Baldur's Gate when Divertus first came out. So you get your feet still at 4 levels. You get Animal Sky for your aerial form. Tiny Critter. Gain the ability to become a tiny creature. Interesting. We shift between wild shape and your normal form. Alternating forms, maybe that might be something I think from the D&D movie where she switched. Wild Resurgence. Oh, nice. Is it in your own world or just a pre-made world like Forgotten Realms or anything of that nature? You use your wild shape primal magic radiates from you, allowing you to use heal blossoms. Healing blossoms is part of the same use. Oh, that's pretty cool. You can cast spells in any wild shape form. While such form, you can perform somatic and verbal components, and you don't need to provide free material components. A spell consumes its material component. You can cast that spell on wild shape. Okay, that's cool. Oh, very, very cool. Yeah, I finished up my adventure crafting thing that I do on Tuesday nights on our Dungeons and Deliberations stream. And I think next week I'm actually going to start doing some more world building, uh, taking some of my campaign world is like 30 some years old, and I really haven't updated as much as I need to for 5th edition. So I'm probably going to start doing that starting next week. That's awesome, though. Beholder's preparing an army. Ooh, very cool. Whenever you roll initiative, you gain 1 use of your channel nature. Epic boon. Choose one of your ability scores. That score increases by 2, and this increase can raise the score above 20, but not above 30. Epic boon of spell recall or another epic boon feat of your choice. In response to playtest feedback, we've made the epic boon feature in the Druid and Paladin more powerful than the versions previously offered in the cleric and the 3 experts. When we revisit those classes, we'll add the ability score increase benefit to their version of the feature. Very cool. Yeah, when I was looking over some of the other stuff in the previous playtest material, I was kind of like, that's not as powerful as the capstones. Using a homebrew subtype of beholder. Okay. Yeah, that's really cool about beholders too. The whole concept of how they want to shape reality and all that. That's a great great use for. A lot of adventures that have beholders in there, just have them as a just a normal monster that the characters fight. Yeah, going that whole the whole concept of the background of beholders is really cool. That's an awesome idea. Okay, here's our wild shapes. When choosing animals' appearance for the form, the animal needn't be the same size as the form. For example, you choose elephant for the appearance and small for the size, creating a form that resembles a little elephant. All right, so you're not going to be using the stat block of a bear or a deer or a horse. You'll have your own basic stat block. It's pretty cool. Yes, sometimes it is fun just to have the just motives and not morality. That's one of the things too that we talk about. Like when I always go through when I talk with the players, if we're playing my campaign world, for them to be aware of certain things because uh, they have to have some sort of motivation. There has to be something for them to go against. If there's things that people are still fighting in the real world, or things in my campaign world that they'll come up against that they need to overcome, and it has to have that. Oh, what's the word I'm looking for? It's got to be the opposition to them being heroes, if they're playing hero characters. That is. So each one of these has just adjustments that you make to your own stat block. Hmm. They give you a flyby. Interesting. All right, circle of the moon. Let's see what they did to this. Nice. Secret Monster Research Academy. That's pretty cool. I have something kind of similar. It's in one kingdom, the Kingdom of Vernon has something called the Adventurers Guild, because the kingdom and all of the different states in the kingdom require adventurers to register themselves for monetary purposes, like collateral damage and such like that. I'll have to implement something like the Secret Monster Research Academy. Though that's a really cool idea. Abjuration spells, third level. Unarmed strike is a bonus action. And you can still use your bonus action for your wild shape as Moon Druid. Ooh. Oh, and a wild shape. That's pretty cool. Extra damage. Oh, 1,000 forms. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, the druid doesn't seem to have taken too many hits, other than they can't wear medium armor now, which is interesting. Maybe they might put that into certain subclasses, the way that they do that with the subclasses for clerics as well. We shall see. Why did that delete that? Long messages. I do not understand why they automatically did that. My apologies, haven't you? I'll have to look into that. Check that out right now. Weird. That's crazy. Huh. See if I can figure that out. I don't understand why I automatically delete that. It's probably in the Streamlabs and on Twitch. I'll have to check that on Streamlabs. Fix that. All right, Paladins. Of course, they're priests, strength and charisma. Lay on hands, spellcasting. Oh, they get spellcasting at first level now. That's pretty cool. Same with Rangers, of course. Subclass. Faithful Steed, extra attack. All right, same thing. All armors and shields, simple martial weapons. Lay on hands, 5 points per level still. Five times your paladin level. So 5, yeah. That's insane. I'll have to change. I'll have to go through the Streamlabs and change that. I thought it would have been a Twitch thing, but the Streamlabs did that, so I'll have to go through it. Check that out. The main thing that we do is I do a stream on Monday evenings. It's called Around the Campfire, and we play horde-based games. Right now, we're playing Dead by Daylight on Monday evenings, and that's people can get a little salty in that. So need to start go through and make sure to set up all of those for our Sunday evening or Monday evening streams, and then turn them off for the rest of them. Nice. Having people baby monsters as pets. Poison condition or creature ravaging with those points to restore hit points. So probably, since this used to be like different conditions besides just poison, they probably just level capped those to certain levels, looks like, maybe. Strike a target, divine smite. If they change it to now, you can only use divine smite no more more than once a turn. You can't use on the same turn you cast a spell. Hmm. Warrior can still use fighting style feats. Channel Divinity, Divine Sense. Oh, they did not make it to where they changed Divine Sense now to where it's not, you don't have to be in your line of sight. That's awesome. I like that, using Harper's vocal cords. Ooh. Subclass, give your fee your extra attack. So you can always cast Find Scene once a day, it looks like, for free. Create protective invisible aura or protection. Your foes. As a magic act, you spend one of your channeled enemies' overall foes and find all. Dazed and frightened conditions for 1 minute. Both the strikes automatically do extra radiant damage. Radiant strikes is normal courage. Can be frightened. Restoring touch, lay on hands. You can also move blinded. Now the 15th level, yes. Okay. Blinded, charmed, dazed, deaf, and frightened, paralyzed, or stunned. Or 30 feet instead of 10. Ability score increase, of course. Moon of True Sight or another epic moon of your choice. Yeah, it can be fun, and it does sound, it can be cute and fun or very gruesome depending on how how visceral the players want the experience to be. True, yeah. Breaking your oath. All right, oath of devotion. Tenets as normal. Your oath spells. Gives you extra spells, so you automatically can cast once a day. Good protection from evil and good, or shield of faith, and shield of faith once a day without using a spell slot. Then they're always prepared. They don't count against the number of spells you can prepare. Sacred weapon. Add your charisma modifier to attack rolls you make with it. Each time you hit, it causes to deal normal damage type or radiant damage. I have not played an Oath of Devotion Paladin in regular 5th edition. I played an Oath of Vengeance Paladin. I played an Oath of Conquest Paladin. Both of them are 20th level now. Ooh, Githyanki Cleric. I like, I think actually I have a Githyanki Ranger, I believe. Urchin Spore Druid, nice. Yeah, definitely convert. I like the edgy Blaze Singer human. Are they goth? Are they like a gothic type of edgy? Need a charm effect. Bonus action will be your aura of protection with holy power. Radiant damage, nice. Sunlight, ooh, very cool. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Well, it looks. I definitely understand them dropping the divine smites down to just once per turn, because whew, I have a 15th because of course we play a lot of Adventurous League rules when I do get to play, but I have a 15th level Oath of Conquest Paladin. It's a 5th level Celestial Warlock, and my goodness, with like, and he wields two-handed weapons. He doesn't use a shield, and he's got a two-handed, two-handed sword, dragon slaying, giant slaying, all this stuff. We went through one adventure. It was one of the epics, and the with my paladin, because of course using a warlock slots, he can spend his warlock slots for his divine smites, and he gets them back after a short rest. And because it's 5th level warlock, all of his spell slots are 3rd level for the warlock, so he's automatically getting level 3 divine smites off with fighting in the epic. I think there were 3 dragons, and he had the dragon slayer sword, and it was just the amount of damage that the paladin himself was putting out was just insane. And I can definitely understand why they would want the divine smite to go down to once a turn. That's for sure. There's actually a Minotaur Paladin in the my client games that I run on Tuesday nights for Dragonlance. He was pretty tight with the halberd, and he can dish out a lot of damage as well. They just got 8th level last night. All right, I'm not really going to go over the spells too much. Maybe some of the changes I noticed that they dropped, like guidance. Did they update it though from the last one? That is something to check out. As mentioned before, they're doing divine spells, primal spells, and arcane spells now. Finding smite, no more concentration. Oh, smites used to be concentration. Just lasts for a minute. Banishing smite, find familiar. Remote viewing. Oh wow! So you can cast them, actually cast it at higher levels now. Interesting. You can always cast, like, if you don't have any 1st level slots available and you have like a number of 2nd or 3rd level slots, even if the spell's not upcastable, you could still use like a 2nd level spell or 3rd level spell to cast a 1st level spell. But now that you can upcast a find familiar spell, that's very cool. Was a fun character you made recently was a wildfire druid, Spring Eladrin. Arson, yes. Yes, I do love Eladrins as well. I have a 20th level artificer that is a Eladrin or Eladrin, however you'd like to pronounce that. I love the fact that they can change their forms and all of that too, which is great. Otherworldly familiar. Need to find steed. Hmm. Spend the Dying doesn't stabilize anymore, it just heals him a hit point. That's interesting. Yeah, like a brawler. That's really cool. Yeah. I do like some of the changes that they made for some of these spells. Glimmering Smite, that's a new one. Glimmering Smite. Oh, okay. They changed that around. It used to be something else that would, if we hit the something that was invisible. Didn't, I'm not sure. I don't think it was called Glimmering Smite though. Yeah, making the smites a little bit better. The smite spells, I should say, a little bit better because as a paladin, I rarely would use any smite spells just because your divine smite and all of your other abilities were better than a lot of the spells. Sometimes it would come in situationally. Minotaur's real name is Dave, and he likes baking. I have a dwarf named Bob, and he's a builder. All right, rules glossary. Some of the new rules: remove entries, ability check, attack roll, climb, swim, dash, hidden, jump, slow, special speeds. Okay. Dying condition, knocking a creature out, short rest, telepathy, unconscious are new entries. Rise entries. D20 test rolling a 1 on a D20 no longer awards inspiration, which is now called heroic advantage. We actually did, that's very cool because I actually mentioned that when we were going over the 20 tests, maybe last week or the week before. Difficult terrain is a revised entry. Your odds are no longer difficult terrain for you? Wow, so you can now move through your companions without them being difficult terrain in the new One D&D, which is interesting. That's why I always loved having rogues with a ring of free action, so you could just waltz through everything. All right, removed ability check, attack roll, understand. Okay, armor training, let's do form armor proficiency, lighter heavy armor, lack armor training, yep. Disadvantage, strength dex, can't cast spells. Yeah, there's a in the Adventurers League, the organized play system for Wizards of the Coast for D&D. They have a merchant very similar to that named Fai Chen that uh, always has like a fantastical fair that where players can actually trade their magic items in, pick up magic items, or spend gold for like they could buy like a manor house or a storefront or something like that. Arson tools, of course, the price is all dropped to 15 gold each. So you can equip or unequip one weapon before or after each attack you make as part of this action. If you equip a weapon before an attack, you don't need to use it for that attack. Picking it up or retrieving it from a container. Unequipping a magic weapon or unequipping a weapon includes sheathing it, stowing it, or dropping it. So they're making it really easy for you, easier to change your weapons, which is cool because sometimes the players do like, as I mentioned before, I'm a forever DM. I've mentioned a lot. I am forever DM, and it's really I can see definitely see the frustration because with Adventurers League we always play it's rules as written, raw is what they call it, and unfortunately a lot of times players get I definitely could see players getting frustrated about not being able to change their weapons during attacks and stuff. And that's pretty cool if they're changing that thing. Blind sight. Climb speed, of course, spider climb was horizontal. Creature types. Yeah, charm person. That's something really good to point out. Sometimes some players don't realize that. Checks, tests, whatever. Limited activity for days. Okay, very similar to being slow. Difficult terrain's pretty much the same. Obviously, changing that to or your ally. Nice. Sentient mushroom. Okay, dying condition. Falling unconscious, death saves, and stabilizing a creature. Okay. You have 0 hit points. If you're getting hit points while dying, this condition ends on you. Knockout, you have an unconscious condition. Death save. Starting each of your turns, you make a death saving throw, which is normal, 10 or higher. Success or failure has no effect by itself. You roll a death save, roll 1, it counts as 2 failures. If you roll 20, you regain 1 hit point. 3 failures, you die. 3 successes, you regain 1 hit point. But you are okay, so you gain 1 hit point, but you're still unconscious and start a short rest. So yeah, that's very cool how they kind of put that in there. I can definitely see that because a lot of times you have to have in the normal 5th edition rules, you have to have a hit point to gain the benefits of a short or long rest. And if a character is just stabilized at 0 hit points, they can't take a long rest or a short rest according to the rules as written. So I can definitely see how you still gain 1 hit point, but you're still unconscious and you start the short rest. I've played so many different editions. I can't remember if it was what edition it was, or if it was the playtest material for D&D Next for 5th edition or what. But I had actually created a monster trait for certain monsters that are called Savage. That if just because a creature drops to 0 hit points, that doesn't mean they stop attacking. And I put those on my Beastmen. Of course, we did mention last week they did take it from 6 levels of exhaustion to 10 levels of exhaustion. And finishing long rest only removes 1 level instead of all your levels. And I'm not sure, is Greater Restoration just remove 1 level now too? Came into the tool, they're all only 1 gold piece now. 3 dragon anti-sets, only 1 gold. Grappled. Speed is 0. Disadvantage on attack rolls against any target other than the grappler. Just halves their movement basically if they're moving with you. clarifying the help action. Heroic advantage. So they're definitely allowing you to use, instead of having to, as we talked about last week, instead of having to declare you're using your advantage before the roll, you can decide to use it immediately after rolling your die 20. So that's really cool, because it's very confusing to some people, because a lot of DMs, especially if you're playing homebrew or whatever, will just you can use inspiration as a reroll. And that seems to be how a lot of players think that it works in 5th edition, when it actually doesn't. You're supposed to declare your inspiration before you roll, to gain advantage, so where you can roll the 2 die 20 and take the highest of the two. But I like that I kind of like the idea that they're doing that. Last week, I was kind of, but I kind of like the idea that they're doing that. It allows the player to not have to use their inspiration until they actually need to use it to roll an extra dice. Hide action, incapacitation. Oh, influence, yep. Different friendly and hostile. Advantage on initiatives when invisible now. So if you're unconscious and start a short rest, let's go check out a short rest. 1 hour period of time, during which character does nothing more strange than eating, drinking, reading, dozing, and standing watch. So you apparently do not have to be conscious to spend hit dice. Interesting. Well, that's good, because short swords are more always simple weapons. Upcoming article: warrior classes will introduce new weapon options. Yeah, the short sword and scimitar, I kind of prefer them both to be simple weapons, just because one's piercing, one's slashing. Study action. Interesting. Telepathy, tremor sense. Scroll back up here and see the magic action again. You take the magic action, you magic something by casting a spell that has a casting time of an action, or using a feature or magic item that requires a magic action to be activated. If you cast a spell that has a casting time of 1 minute or longer, you must take the magic action on each turn of that casting. You must maintain concentration while you do so. If your concentration is broken, the spell fails. You don't expend a spell slot. All right. Teleportation. I like how they're reclarifying true sight. Like they're changing the arm strike. So they just do it 1 point unless you have a feat. Plus your strengths. Grapple, you can shove. But you could grapple or shove as part of it, as replacing one of your attacks in 5th edition as it is. So, all right, very cool. Really fun, interesting looking changes to the rules. Some stuff being kind of minor, some stuff, I don't know, again, just changing terminology. Uh, just because someone wants to change terminology, I'm not sure how that's really, especially once you've got players used to, difficulty checks and stuff like that, and change them to tests. But hey, that's D&D. I'll continue to play it regardless, as long as it doesn't come out like 4th edition. But anyway, but yeah, we'll check. It looks pretty cool. We'll definitely be checking out the players handbook options next week. That one probably next week and the week after. But yeah, that's going to bring us to a close today for the stream. Thanks for dropping in and for the follow, Safi Jew. And then thanks to all of our supporters, of course, especially our patrons from Patreon. If you'd like to help support the channel, please consider becoming a patron or subbing here on Twitch, twitch.tv/the Master of Dungeons. Of course, the link to our Patreon page, as well as all of our social media accounts, are down below us here on Twitch in the About Us section. If you would, go ahead and subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, give us some likes, retweets, all that good stuff. Every sub, like, and share does help us immensely. If you want, you can also join the Master of Dungeons community Discord server, where you can jump in and help create a caring, inclusive, and accepting community. We do have our merch store is up and running now. There's some cool t-shirts and other things in there. We do have a Pride shirt that is going to remain up indefinitely. It's going to remain up the whole time, even after Pride Month is finished. And of course, tips are always welcome, but definitely not expected. We will hope to see you tomorrow for our dungeon delving from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, where we're playing Lord of the Rings Online, a free-to-play MMO. We are playing on the Landroval server, so if anyone wants to hop in while we're playing, send me a tell. My character is Tyrannus. It'll be up on the stream tomorrow. But until then, have a great rest of your evening and a great weekend. And we'll all talk to you again very soon, we hope. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy adventuring.